Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pernell Bobby, working through the series, of dating and sex life for all the rising signs and the descendants. We're now in Aquarius season, so now I shall hit that off. Before I do, if you're here, my name is Pernell Bobby. If you have not met me before, I want to let you know why you should definitely hit that like and subscribe button. I am using astrology as a form of therapy to help alleviate suffering, okay? And as you know, with this particular series, when you got a bad sex and dating life, you're suffering in some way, shape, or form. It's a natural act of the human nature, and it's something that we need to respect and honor and also not abuse. So for Aquarius Rising, as you hit that subscribe, boop, here's what we got. Okay, you got a Leo descendant. When I look at the rising sign, considering we're talking about sex life, sex and astrology, and the drive you have, the passion you have, always is in your placement of Mars. So understand that I'm not directly doing the conventional approach. I'm being an Aquarius, okay? My third house Aquarius, in a sense, communicating in unconventional ways. You would look at Mars to see your direct sex drive, which would be very different than your rising sign, which is why this is about your sex life and your dating, okay? How you show up in relationships with other people, who you're attracted to, what are the shadows in relationship that you're attracted to, which would be like the descendant or the seventh house. In this instance, if you have an Aquarius rising, you automatically have a seventh house descendant in Leo. So I want you to start thinking already about who are the Leos in your life, who are the Leos that you've dated, who are the Leos that you've been attracted to, and also look at like parents, okay? Parents, siblings, and where Leo or Aquarius sits in their chart, because then you'll have very live samples of people you know that you can compare and contrast about the type of people you're attracted to and that you date. Male or female, does not matter. So to get into it, Aquarius, we already know, is a little awkward, okay? Awkward in the sense that they don't make sense to other people. And the reason they don't make sense is the first thing you have to know is whenever everybody's going in one direction, the Aquarius is automatically going the other way. Even if this is the right direction, Aquarius is going the other way because it's just curious. It needs to feel unique. It needs to feel completely different. Where's my mic? It needs to feel completely different and just go against the grain. That's like the automatic motor of an Aquarius. What you need to know about this is you likely were very shy when you were young, okay? You were the kid that everyone else probably thought was really cool, but you probably were super reserved. You didn't talk, and you didn't recognize that the attention they were giving you, you low-key loved it. And it's kind of where that seventh house comes in. You would have attracted people where even if you weren't super social, you would have attracted people with big friend circles, okay? Even somebody you might have dated would have had big friend social circles that could have been a little bit of gossipy, could have been a little non-committal, because Leo is a non-committal sign, okay? Especially in the form of romance. Romance being, I need some sunglasses, the mystery of dating, okay? So it's like once the mystery is up, your time is up. So you definitely need somebody who has an aura around them that has a regal nature, but also within that regality, they are a little mysterious, okay? They don't give you all their cards. And you may even know, because Aquarius risings and Aquarius ascendants are extremely observant. I think the most observant signs in astrology is Aquarius, Scorpio, and Virgo, okay? Personal opinion, that's up for debate, but I know for a fact that you're dumb observant. You're so observant, no one actually knows how much you observe. They really don't. Especially because you observe over a long term. This is your influence coming from Saturn being your traditional ruler, Saturn being the father of time, okay? Saturn being maturity, all right? So it's almost like you were mature already at a young age. Aquarius is the 11th zodiac, and I look at it as like the space ambassadors, okay? Like you're like the ambassadors of the Space Federation and all other alien life forms out there. You are the first contact when it comes to communicating with, let's say, other life forms, and then you kind of give that information back to Libra, who does that so in the social circles, which you're not willing to do. So as a wind sign, you have the mental capacity to go ahead and be fluid, and you really might find yourself sapiosexual, okay, attracted to people sexually through their intellect. That's probably what I'm going to say what you need in order to get through the door. You need somebody that intrigues your mind, somebody that makes you feel like their thoughts are delicious to you, literally. And not only just that, but somebody who has that light, somebody who has that spark. You might really also, on the opposite shadow side of this, attract people that are super boastful, super like me, egocentric, you know, might even overpraise their accomplishments. This is something you have to watch for in your shadow aspects of what your dating life looks like and the people you get in relationships with as an Aquarius Ascendant, an Aquarius Rising. And it goes on, like, you're gonna want your partner to basically drool over you, okay? Leo is super duper romantic. It does have that non-committal factor, so they may not fully commit, it may be very hard, but a little bit of that chase, that hot cold is what you love at the same time for my Aquarius Risings, because as soon as you figure them out, they pretty much lost. When it comes to one-off encounters, this can kind of go either way. Certain signs are just like, nah, they're not really having one-night stands. As an Aquarius Rising, if you've always had long-term relationships, what then becomes unconventional might be the one-night stand, right? If you're so used to one-night stands, let's just say, what might become unconventional is you committing to somebody on a long term. So how that plays out is really going to be more about what's currently happening in your life, and then you can basically say, the complete opposite random that can never be predicted will then happen next when it comes to relationships. Like, because you're unpredictable, right? Literally, you are unpredictable even to yourself. You literally shock and surprise yourself, being the first house of self, and Uranus being your modern day ruler. Uranus being all about rebellion and, you know, radical shifts and changes, especially for the social collective. You're gonna need somebody who has a dream of social equality, okay? A dream of humanitarian efforts being put out into the world. Somebody that is here to do something big. Somebody here that has a lot of power. Leo is a sign of power. Leo is a sign of the king, the queen, is regal nature. It is part of why that it's home in the sun, okay? I say home in the sun, not exalted. That's your boy right here. That's the Aries, baby. We exalted in the sun. Take that, Leo. But on a more serious note, your way out is the heart. All right. So in your youth, when it comes to dating, like, you're hella detached in a way where your personal feelings don't ever really make the decisions for you. You logically want to think your way to the next step. But when we're talking about love, we're talking about especially committed relationships beyond the shadow of yourself, being Leo, Descendant, 7th house, being terrible at like committing. Okay, they're around for the fun, not the long time, until they are, because they eventually realize like that there's a healthy form of dependency. Okay, each and every one of us, you think about our relationship, okay, there in some form there's a dependency. And as Aquarius Risings, you're gonna kind of be hot and cold on that. You're gonna be on and off on that. You're gonna like that and you're gonna hate that. It's gonna literally be, I know an Aquarius, and she says this term, pissful. She's like pissed and grateful at the same time. So that love-hate thing could really pull up on you, especially when you see a contrast between your intellect, your mind, and your heart. It may be really hard for you to connect with your heart, and you may be, through your shadow aspect of dating with Leo in the 7th house as the Descendant, Aquarius Risings are gonna find that they're gonna attract people with a big ass fucking heart. So let's just say my dad, for example. My dad is in Aquarius Rising and my mom has a Leo moon, okay? She literally has a big ass heart. It's like too big. Literally, she's the heart of the sun, and you put it in her private life and her emotional world of the moon, it's like she got a big ass emotional heart, okay? And my dad is super duper cold. That motherfucker is just reserved. He's like, you don't know what the hell he's thinking. You don't know what the hell he's doing. You don't know what the hell is gonna happen next. He moves around his local community just to explore, and he ain't even really got a direction, right? And so they're definitely explorers, and you're gonna need somebody who can accept your need for freedom and independence. It's the most important and critical thing for Aquarius Risings. If somebody does not respect your independence and your freedom and your desire to be free and feel free even in the relationship which you're bonded, and accept your unconventional views about relationships, which is oftentimes awkward as fuck, there's not going to be anything you're going to see in the mainstream media. Anything in mainstream media is automatically not you when it comes to how you relate with yourself and what you expect, okay, and need and desire from a partner. But what you need to also recognize is, you know, what parts of yourself will you, one, benefit from being a little bit more boastful, from being a little bit more, you know, all about me, rather than always making yourself about other people, about the collective, where you betray yourself. This is important for Aquarius Risings and the Ascendants, because, you know, they want social equality so bad that they forget that they are part of the social, right? You're literally a part of the social, and you can be, especially in youth, be very antisocial, be very reserved, but that's because of Saturn's impact. Okay, Father Time. It just takes you time, because as you get older, you're going to recognize those people back in high school that you were relating with, that were showing you these shadow aspects of your Leo 7th house descendant. And as you age, you're going to want that attention. You're going to start being more to life with a party. People are going to be looking at you like, yeah, like that motherfucker, right? And there's a part of you that loves that, and there's a part of you that still hates that, because you're still all about equality, which means that, you know, it can't be all about you, and you don't want that, but you do. So there's this pissful, you know, there's being pissed and grateful dynamic, this love-hate, you know, this equality of duality all at the same time happening. Other than that, like when it comes to your sex life, at least that side of it, like kinky shit is definitely about it. I could see role playing happening, and if it's not you role playing, I could see you desiring your partner to role play for you, getting dressed up in costumes and whatnot, potentially playing with some machines that might pump something strange. We're gonna leave that one open for interpretation. Anything this could be a BDSM placement. Like I had a client, not that they're in their BDSM, I'm not gonna tell their business either, but I had a client with a Venus in Aquarius. So anywhere Venus in Aquarius and Mars in Aquarius for Aquarius risings, even if you're not Aquarius rising and you have a Venus or a Mars in Aquarius, this is gonna apply to you as well. They all about the strangest sexual encounters, okay? They literally are attached and value strange encounters with their partnerships, with their relationships. So it's like they might literally go out and date somebody. If they know they like skinny women, they might literally go ahead and date somebody overly obese, because it's just completely different. And I dated an Aquarius, and she literally did this. She literally did exactly that, which is funny. Like somebody she knows she didn't really like, but she did it because of this social equality. Like everyone deserves love, right? Like literally everyone deserves partnership. Everyone deserves this care, this attention. So you gotta be careful with that, because I think that sometimes that detached nature, you can really also, by doing that, trying to help, you can hurt people, because it's like you gotta check in with your own values of why you're doing what you're doing. Or on the opposite end, you know, if you growing up, let's say as a black male, you might be like, look, I only want exotic, you know, in a sense, I only want foreign women, I only want foreign men, somebody who is completely not a part of my culture. I definitely see that being very attractive and appealing to you, especially because Leo has this like travel type thing happening with it as well for the Descendant, and so that's a possibility. But really, ultimately, when it comes down to this, I think the most important thing for Aquarius risings and Ascendants is to make sure that you are communicating, okay, as a wind sign, which people don't realize. Like even as a wind sign, you really suck at communicating. You're great at it, but you're not good at it from going to the emotional depths that are required for long-term standing relationships. Some part of that can actually repulse and disgust you. You're like, ah, and that's why the way out is your shadow, which is your heart. Okay, Leo is the heart of the sun. So the way out and the way into a more committed long-term relationship is to connect with your heart, which could be difficult because you could literally be trying to think your way through certain solutions when it's like, again, this is where I see different mental illnesses and psychological disorders happening by trying to think your way through something as powerful, potent, and omnipresent as love, right? Something as complex as love. Nothing about it is simple. Nothing about it is solvable, okay? So you gotta be careful with that and trying to solve things in relationships rather than allowing yourself to feel. But along that feeling process, make sure you feel into your partner by communicating with them that you need your freedom, you need to take your time. You take time in order to have more committed, long-term standing and sustainable relationships. And you need your partner, you need to communicate as well that, you know, you open for some real kinky, awkward, unconventional, otherworldly, radical sex positions, even if it's just once, and you might not never do that thing again. In order to keep the spice rolling and the sexual polarity strong, you're gonna need some things that's gonna throw some radical wrenches, some surprises in there for you, you know, doing that thing with the tongue, you know, whatever that is for you. You're gonna need that at least on the sex side. But for the dating side, yeah, that's what I feel is happening for you. Check in with the shadow side of yourself with the Leo, being egocentric, being boastful. But on the opposite side as well, Leo, on the bright side, you know, really having fun-loving partners, people who just bring a tremendous amount of joy in your life. Realize that you bring that joy into other people's lives as well. So make sure you give yourself credit for that and not only require the validation from other people. Knowing that your partner is going to need to be drooling over you. I had said that, like, they're going to need to be like, I want you and you're mine and you're nothing but mine, okay? You might find you and your partner have that vibe, that effect, but it can be difficult because Aquarius Rising with that detachment, they might not fully, Aquarius Ascendant might not fully understand that about their partner because they're so in their mind and detached into another world and other different conversations in their head that you might miss a really good partner for you by just basically denying that you want that closeness, okay? And you might go off and cheat, or you might go off and spend your seeds and your sexual energy in a different area when really, you know, you missed out on somebody that was right there in front of you that was the best for you. So this is Pernell Bobby, your astrotherapist, leaving my interpretation, asking you to subscribe to this channel, asking you to like this channel. Check out my free guide down below. You can join my email list. I'm running free of rinse. There's another free one coming up in Aquarius season, ironically, whenever this video is happening, but I'm always running them at least twice a month. Check the email list down below. You're going to get a free PDF talking about all the zodiacs, numerology, angel numbers, dream interpretations. The list kind of goes on. So definitely help your boy out there. Join some of my events. If you're looking for a reading, I can't tell you that I'm always going to be open by the time you watch this. Right now, those readings are closed, but it might be open. If it's open, it's open. My calendar is already set. I don't even look at that thing anymore. It's set for what it's set for. I set my seasons. So thank you for your like and your subscription. I appreciate you. This is your astrotherapist, Pernell Bobby, helping you to alleviate suffering, all while leveraging astrology.